we got another one. MC Me fucks up again. What do you know? Fuck up all the time, you know. Nothing wrong with it though, as long as you learn from it. Okay, so what did I fuck up today? Alright, this is the thing. This is the lesson for the day, yo. Don't take shit from no one unless you deserve it. And sometimes you deserve it. And it can be so hard just to it can be so hard to just admit that you're wrong. It's the hardest thing for anybody to do, is just to admit you're wrong. But that's the true strength. True strength and wisdom and knowledge and everything is just when someone's, there's going to be times where people say you're wrong and you're really not wrong or whatever, and you got to just tell those people to fuck off. But when you actually are wrong, you got to look objectively for a second. And if you are wrong, then the true strength comes from with recognizing that and telling the person they're right. Be like, yo, you're right, man, I fucked up. Okay, so how did I fuck up today, yo? Okay, it was leg day at the gym. I'm back in the gym. I'm hitting the weights hard. I'm going hard. You better believe it. Okay, so it was leg day in the gym, right? And I was so in the zone, yo. I was so in the zone, which was a good thing and a bad thing in a way. I'm new to the gym too, right? So I went straight to the squat rack. I put 45s on the side, whatever, started squatting. And I went from the squat rack to this other area with blocks or whatever that I was jumping on, okay? So when I moved from the squat rack to the blocks to jump on, I was so in the zone and so exhausted because I just absolutely demolished the squats, I got the very last rep, right? And I just wasn't even thinking to rack the weights, right? I wasn't even thinking to rack the weights. And so I moved from the squat rack onto this other area of the gym, and I just didn't rack the weights. I left the weights, how they are. And then I went to the blocks, did the jumping bullshit, went to another machine and put weights on that, right? Different weights on that. And I was just so in the zone this whole time. I was so focused. I turned my phone on airplane mode and everything. And I was just listening to music, so in the zone. And I went to this other machine, and I did I did my weights for that. And then I got off of that and I went into another thing, and I just kept forgetting to rack the weights. I was just going from one thing to the next, and I just wasn't racking the weights, right? I was just leaving the weights as is, okay? And by the end of the workout, somebody else was doing legs and pretty much doing the same things I was doing and just going after me, going on all the same machines. And it took until the third time I did it, and he came up to me, and he's just like, bro, you gotta rack your weights, bro. I gotta rack all your weights for you. It's getting annoying, right? And at first, just like anyone, your ego or whatever it is, a part of your brain, you don't want to be told that you're wrong or whatever. So at first I'm almost get the fuck out of my face type of thing. But then I thought about it for a second, and I just told him, I'm like, and he was kind of being a dick, a little bit, he's like, bro, I don't want to have to fucking rack these, weight, blah, blah, blah. And then I told him, I'm like, bro, you're right, man. I was like, I've just been in the zone, man. There's no excuse, but I've just been in the zone, and it's leg day, but you're right, man. I should have fucking been racking my weights, and I fucked up. Okay? And then right after I said that, he's like, bro, I didn't mean to be a dick, but I'm just saying, you gotta, rack your weights or whatever. And I'm like, I'm new to this, but at the same time, there's no excuses. I should have just taken into account that other people use this shit. I just wasn't even thinking, right? So MC Me fucked up, but I learned from it, and now I'm always going to rack my weights. I'm always going to rack my weights because I think it's something that you kind of, as a lifter, if you do bodybuilding, you kind of just do it naturally. You just rack your weights, but I haven't been lifting in 3 years, so it's just not a natural thing to me to just rack my weights or whatever. Not to say there's any excuses, but the point is that sometimes people are going to just talk shit to you to talk shit. And those are the type, you got to tell those people to fuck up. But if you look objectively for a second, and you're fucking other people's shit up, I was messing his workout up because he had to keep racking my weights or whatever, if he just came up to me and was like, bro, you're lifting some pussy ass weight or some shit, then it's like, all right, get the fuck out of my face, bro. I'm out here trying to become a better version of myself, whatever. But he wouldn't have said anything to me if it wasn't for the fact I was affecting his, I was affecting his workout, you know what I mean? So he came up to me and said that or whatever. And at first he had a very harsh tone, he was pissed. He was, he was just like being a dick about it, but at the same time it was, he deserved to be to an extent, you know what I mean? Because when I look at it objectively, I'd probably be the same way but this guy was lifting probably for 10 years, so he's been in the gym long time, okay? And me, this is like my second week back or whatever, so I'm not used to, just the routine of you put the weights on, you rack it or whatever, not to say there's any excuses, okay? But the point is that sometimes people, especially when you're in that situation and you're telling somebody else, like, look, man, I see you're fucking up my life right now. And like, I've done this with other people, if I lend somebody money or some shit and I'm like, yo, you're fucking my life up, bro. Like, I don't want to have to be a dick, but you're fucking my life up now. So now I got to tell you what to do. And, 99% of the time, they're going to be like, oh, no, man, fuck that, man. You think I'm out here just spending money, blah, blah, blah. I know I owe you money. Get out, stop being such a dick to me, whatever. And then it just makes you more mad because you're like, clearly they don't get it. But if somebody owed me money and I'm like, bro, what the fuck's going on? Where's my money at? And they're like, dude, honestly, I've been fucking up. I spent it on, like, drugs or some shit. I shouldn't be doing this. I know. Like, I'm like, my bad, man. I'm trying to get out of it, but there's no excuses. Then I'd be like, damn, all right, man, that's that's reasonable. I can respect that, as long as, you know what I mean. But when you start backlashing at somebody, even though you're wrong, you know what I mean? Because at first that's what I want to do. I want to be like, bro, what weights? What are you talking about? What am I not racking or whatever? But then I like looked around. I realized I didn't rack my squat, whatever. And I was like, you know what, man, you're right. And right when I said that, he changed his whole attitude. And he's like, I don't want to be a dick, but and then blah, blah, blah. And so it was all good. It was all good. So the point is, man, just learn from your lessons. And if somebody, don't take shit from people, but look objectively for a second. And if you're messing up somebody else's life by something that you're doing, then they have the right to say something. You know what I mean? They have the right to say something. But if you're not messing anybody's life up and you're doing your own thing, you know what I mean, then nobody has the right to tell you shit. But you're always gonna fuck up. So that's the thing. It's like your ego and your pride or whatever you want to say. It's gonna. The last thing it wants to do is admit it's wrong. But that's and you think that's what makes you strong. Some people think that's what makes you strong, is to not be wrong ever or whatever. But the true strength comes from being able to look at it objectively, see yourself objectively, and admit that you are wrong. That's cut out on me. The point that I was trying to get at is that admitting you're wrong, a lot of people don't see that as strength, right? The strength comes in always being right, but truly admitting that you're wrong is where true strength comes in. The only way that you can grow in certain situations is admitting you're wrong, seeing it objectively, and then growing from that situation. Like today, I seen it objectively. Now I'm always going to rack the weights, and I'm never going to have somebody else tell me what I need to do in the gym, because I'm not going to be affecting other people, and I'm more aware of that now. Instead of taking it bad and being like, oh fuck that or whatever, and just blocking it out, okay? Taking it objectively, seeing that you're wrong, and understanding that the only way that you're going to grow is by admitting that you're wrong and then moving from there, okay? You'll see it all the time when it comes to addiction. You see, addiction is a perfect example. The problem keeps perpetuating because people don't want to admit that they're wrong, yo. People don't want to admit that they drink too much. That's the first. What's the first step when you go to Alcohol Anonymous or whatever? To admit that you're wrong, right? That's always the first step, because by doing that, that's when growth comes. If you just keep perpetuating, you keep saying that you're not wrong and what you're doing, blah blah blah, you have excuses or all this other stuff, you're just gonna keep perpetuating the same problems over and over and over and over and over and over. So there's a time where you have to just admit that you're wrong, learn from it, and then now, boom, you create a whole new reality, and then you don't have to go back and keep doing that. If I was just pissed today and was like, fuck that, I'm not gonna listen to this guy, whatever, he's just a dick, then it would happen again. Then another time I work out, probably the next time I work out, if I were to do the same thing and not rack my weights and all that, then somebody else would come up to me and they say, bro, you gotta fucking rack your weights, and yada yada, and it goes on and on and on, and the problems would just keep perpetuating, yo. So you could use this towards anything, all right? And that's where true inner strength comes from. And yeah, that's MC Me Fucks Up number 2, man. I'm gonna make a whole series of MC Me Fucks Up, because these are good for me, and I think they'd be definitely good for people. If you can learn from my mistakes, you know, learn from my mistakes, that you have to learn from your mistakes, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna just keep making these videos as they come naturally. You know, I'm not gonna purposely go out and try to fuck up and then make a video, but if I naturally fuck up, you know, I'm gonna say, you know, perfect, there, I got another video to make, you know, and then I can learn from it, and then I can, you know, as I talk, you know, talk it out too. If you fuck up, don't just bottle it all in or whatever, because that's not gonna help either, you know, talk it out. So that's MC Me Fucks Up number 2, another episode in the books, baby. Yeah.